Hey guys, hello and welcome to TFG Tackles. I'm at the Ala-Archa National Park. It just started snowing the day after I came, so my intention was to go up to this place called the Ratsik Hut because you can see a very nice glacier called Aksai from over there. But I don't have equipment for going up to that glacier right now, so I will be turning back soon. And that's kind of it kind of symbolizes how Indian national team fared at Bishkek, when they came to Kyrgyzstan to play the last Asian Cup Qualifier. The pot 2 was up for grabs, not just for us, for them. They beat us fair and square, I think, and they got into pot 2 while we are in pot 3. And I think both India and Kyrgyzstan are praying that they get to face each other in the group stage, because I think both teams at the moment think they can beat each other. Okay? And let me tell you why. Kyrgyz players, they thought they were going to win. They sounded pretty confident leading up to the game. Indian players also thought they had a chance, and frankly, I know there's a lot of Constantine out stuff going on right now, that we won, it was a poor team selection. It almost worked though. It almost worked. Some refereeing decisions did not go our way. Kyrgyzstan were dominating the game, but we did create our own chances. We hit the post early. Rolin Borges took that free kick early on. It hit the post, and then Balwant scored. That was disallowed due to offside. On another day, maybe that could have been allowed. Maybe on another day that free kick would have gone in straight. It's just a matter of luck on a game like this. India were going up against a lot, and you can tell what kind of weather they had to face, because Bishkek is not far from here. It's just 30 kilometers from here. Altitude is almost similar, so I was out there during the pre-match practice session. I'm not using gloves because it's better to use the camera with bare hands. That's what I was doing. At one point, I remember I grabbed hold of a railing in the stadium, and my fingers froze. That's how cold it was. So make no mistake, India were trying to play their hardest in an atmosphere that nobody was used to, right? And this is what sort of comes into play when you have a away game like this. I think AIFF took the preparations for this match a little bit too casually, because India were already in the Asian Cup, and that's why they did not have a preparatory camp in Bishkek, because I think that would have been the most ideal scenario. You come here, you give your body 3-4 days to adjust to this. I've been walking some 6-7 kilometers so far since early morning, and the last couple of kilometers have been hard. The altitude, the weather, the thinning air. Air is obviously a lot more thin in Bishkek and of course here than we experience in India. It starts to tell on your body. You just are not able to breathe easily. After a while, your body just starts gassing out, and if you fall, and I've fallen a couple of times along the way, the pain is multiplied. So you can imagine what Balwant went through when he just did that desperate low header when that long ball came through. The goalkeeper was coming to get it. He went down and tried to head it in. It did not go in. On another day, maybe that could have also gone in. But yeah, he got hurt. He had to step out for a moment for medical attention. Just know that, that's just how much pain he had to go through. It's amplified a lot. So we went back to the press conference after the match, and we were speaking to Constantine. He sort of explained it, saying we did put up a fight. And everything. He said Lalru Attara, overall he thought he had a good game. I know many are blaming him for letting in that early goal. I should put on some gloves now, because since I'm not walking, suddenly my fingers are almost about to freeze up. Thankfully, I have the gloves here. So, Lalrua Thara, he's playing in an alien condition against a strong opponent in a game where a lot is riding, and it's his debut. He's never played for the national team before. So you can imagine what he went through. And even in the first few minutes, how your body warms up also makes the difference. So Kyrgyz Republic players were way better prepared to get go from minute one than Indian players, let alone a debutant, right? So that can happen. That can happen in the first few minutes. After that, I think he improved. It was unfortunate for us that the goal went in and we were on the back foot. The dynamic of the game changed after that. To be frank, that could have happened in the first leg as well when we were playing them in Bengaluru. It was quite possible that when they were creating chances in Bengaluru and India were making some desperate defenses in the first 20 minutes, any one of them could have gone in, and then we would have a similar game in Bangalore like we had in Bishkek. So it's fair, what happened. There's no point complaining about it. India did put up a fight. We created a couple of chances in the first half. We got a goal in the second half. And one thing after the press conference, I was walking down the stairs with Constantine, and he said he was talking to the media manager of the national team, and he said, they had only one shot on target in the second half, and that's something I take a little bit issue with. He of course, he was joking that you guys are too critical of me, and he anticipated that there's going to be an online backlash against him afterwards. But they had one shot on target, but they created so many chances. It's something else altogether that Kyrgyz Republic team is bad with finishing. They had chances in the final third inside the box enough times, and they just kept shooting wide. Even Gurpreet was caught out of position a few times. It's not our credit that they kept shooting wide. Another team, another day could put that on the target. We could have easily conceded 5 goals. We could have scored 3 goals as well. Could have gone any way, any direction. So yeah, mixed bag. For the first time, I was there at a press box and India lost, so my unbeaten record is broken. I am a little bit bummed about that, but I'm actually glad that I got this out of the way, because we have the SAF Championship coming up. I did not want it to happen in the SAF Championship final, for example. It would suck to miss out on a trophy. If Champions Cup happens in August, we don't want that to happen there. So it's good that the Indian team sort of goes through a shock. I think going unbeaten this long, we needed a reality check. We needed a shocker that said, you're not that up there yet. There are teams out there which will give you a run for your money any day. And Kyrgyz Republic did that in Bengaluru. Thankfully, we had Sunil. Thankfully, we had Eugene, JJ with that brilliant cross, and Sunil with that finish. I will never forget that goal. It was an extraordinary performance, but that extraordinary performance is also not going to happen every day. And to make that happen, there's a lot of room for improvement that still needs to happen. And I'm sure Constantine as a coach is going to look at that. The entire Indian team management will look at that and try to make that happen. Pritam Kotal, apparently, I didn't know about this. Pritam Kotal had a passport complication. I don't know how that happens still. How can there be a passport complication? I got a visa for Kyrgyzstan. I was drunk. I took a picture of my passport and I uploaded it on their online portal for visa. And 3 days later, the visa was approved. So This game was scheduled so long ago. Maybe his passport has less than 6 months left, or something like that. That led to the passport being technically disqualified for a visit to Kyrgyz Republic. But you knew this game was going to happen 1 year in advance. How could you not be prepared for this? If somebody with as little money and resources as me can be prepared for it, how can a national team with their professional management, with the entire force of the All India Football Federation behind them, how can they not be prepared for it? It just bumps me out. And how is that an excuse? I'm not saying anybody tried to make it an excuse, but it should be shameful for whoever is in charge to make travel arrangements that a player's visa or passport just gets disqualified ahead of a important game. Same thing happened for Bangladesh. These two couple of Bangladesh women's team players who could not come to India because of visa issues. But this is not, from what I'm hearing, it's not even visa issue. It's passport complications, which is entirely your fault. It's not even a diplomatic or it's not even something you can blame on the foreign government or something. It bumps me out, man, just thinking about how Pritam Kotal, a very important defender, could not make it into the squad for this game for no fault of his own. Anyway, it went the way it went. The match is over. We lost 2-1. We have to accept the result. Let's see how it goes. And boy, do I want to see India face this team again. With Sunil Chhetri at front, with Jinson Lingdo back in the squad, in a warmer climate of UAE, and with Pritam Kotal without passport complications. That would be interesting, and I'm pretty sure on a day like that, we will end up beating them 3-2 or 3-1 or 2-1, something like that. So don't lose hope. Don't just go around saying the coach needs to leave because we lost one game or one of the team selections were not as per your wishes. He said in the press conference that remember this, we had already qualified, so experimenting with new players was also part of his agenda. He wanted to try out new players in the camp. He wanted to bring them over and see how they train in these circumstances, and maybe try a couple of them out in the field as well. So all of that. Now we will return. So stay tuned. Look at these trees. It looks like Santa Claus lives here.